Bitcoin taking a dipski below 50,000 US dollars as Evergrande expectedly defaults on its US dollar debt. Massive moon mommy Cathie Woods holds firmly to her $500,000 Bitcoin big money pumpathon bet. But can Bitcoin recover and hold 50,000 US dollars? Or are the bears about to munch on the lunch of the baby bulls? Your hosts Spencer, Spread, and Spladoosh. And today is a big day for Bitcoin holders as the work week draws to an end. And with Bitcoin at an incredibly critical spot, what is in store for the baby bulls? These absolutely time-sensitive alerts as well. We have 22 hours until our ledger equivalent in BTC. Just make sure to leave your comment below. It is for subscribers, and as well, if you're interested in any other bonuses, make sure to check out the pinned comment in the description below. And without any further ado, let's dump on in. Downright disgusting. As of the last few hours, we've seen Bitcoin tumble a little bit below 50K. And so we're watching this level. But before we jump into all of the price action in TA here, let's take a look at this as Bitcoin dips below 50K, Evergrande defaulting on its US dollar debt. And again, this is something we've been talking about a lot here. But the whole Evergrande situation, people keep asking, why do things keep happening? Like, why is it in the news every week? Because nothing was resolved, right? I was saying that for the past few months. None of this has been resolved. We're going to have to keep hearing about this. And yet, I feel like people in crypto have short-term memory loss. So it's still happening, okay? And it's going to keep affecting the market most likely. This is not just one single event. This has broader implications. And I was saying that months ago. You might not want to hear that, but you know, if you're sick of hearing about it in the news, I mean, get used to it because you're probably going to keep hearing about it. But with that being said, there is a critical level around 46 to 47K after the last dump to 42K. That would technically be a higher low, and it would have totally fine recovery structure still intact here if Bitcoin would manage to hold that level. And as well, something interesting here that Rect Capital pointed out, with Bitcoin tagging the 0.382 fib during a retest of the black 0.5 fib retrace here in 2017, and now this year, Bitcoin tagging that same 0.382 fib following a retest of the 0.5 fib retrace there. So just very interesting to note there. Again, nothing repeats exactly, but so far, again, in my opinion, it's time to get bearish if we make a lower low, which we have not done. And cementing 46, 47K as a bounce level over the next day or two would negate that, which would be a higher low, not a lower low, which again would be totally fine. But as well, Cathie Wood saying big money investors could add still $500,000 to Bitcoin's price or get Bitcoin to that $500,000 mark. And that is exactly what she has been saying for quite a long time now. But again, she just reiterated that as her funds, I believe, are actually not doing great overall. But long term, again, that's what we got to think here. And as well, obviously today, there's some big news. Polygon acquiring ZK Rollup. So this is huge for nearly $500 million here. It acquired Ethereum scaling startup Mir Protocol for $400 million. Why is this big? Right, we were talking about today as being a big day for Polygon. The Mir protocol possesses the fastest ZK proof technology, meaning it can generate proofs faster and verify more transactions in a single proof here. And with Plunky 2, it can generate recursive proofs in an incredible 170 milliseconds on a laptop. And it is it's practical to use on Ethereum with roughly 50 kilobytes proofs in size optimized mode here. And it will be rebranding to Polygon 0. Mir will be rebranding to Polygon 0 here. So again, if you're looking for a scaling solution, or at least something extremely fundamentally and technically strong right now, Polygon, again, that's why I've been covering it for weeks and weeks now. But as we've always said, and which is common sense at this point, if Bitcoin begins dump mode, then nothing really does that great. And even if it does, even if, say, Polygon would go up today or tomorrow, if Bitcoin continues a downtrend, eventually, again, it pulls everything with it. That's just how this market works. And I don't know if anyone really likes that. I guess the only people in the crypto space that like that are Bitcoin maximalists, because they don't really care if anything else gets affected by Bitcoin anyway, right? They just care only about Bitcoin. And so really for anybody else in the space, most people do not like the fact that it doesn't matter what is happening with a project. If Bitcoin starts a multi-week or especially a bear market or a multi-month drop, then everything gets brought down with it. And obviously that's a major reason that I don't do a ton of TA on anything besides Bitcoin, because whatever Bitcoin's doing dictates pretty much most of the price action. Okay, there are exceptions. There are small time frames and days, even weeks where other things can perform very well. But over the long term, if Bitcoin starts dumping, everything else will too. But most importantly, if we take a look at Bitcoin on the weekly here, we are right at the 50-week moving average. This is very important. So we got rejected at the 21-week, and now we're just hovering on the 50-week. So this is very critical that we hold this. And what's most important here is that in the dumpiest of the summer, okay, when we plummeted from 65 all the way down to below 30K, it took a few weeks, but ultimately Bitcoin held the 50-week. That is by far the most important thing here. It took a few weeks, but Bitcoin held the 50-week moving average. And then it obviously went on a multi-month uptrend, okay? If you would have bought in here, you would have been up over 100% on Bitcoin if you just bought the bottom of this pullback and then waited a few months. So what we look to be seeing now is something similar. Now, obviously, this was not as big of a drop. It did not, so far, it has not plummeted that far below. But as long as we can maintain these levels, which, let's be honest, it could take some time here, which nobody wants to hear. Nobody wants to be bored, but it could take some time cementing these levels. As long as Bitcoin holds the 50-week, and then obviously the 21-week as well, again, nothing has really changed here. And so again, just stepping stones. We did have that little break above 50K, but we need to maintain that. Again, as long as we don't set a lower low, anywhere, as long as we pretty much hold 47, 46 at the lowest, that's not too bad. Obviously, it went down to 42. Breaking 42 is mega bearish. That's insanely bearish. But holding 46, 47, that's totally fine. And as of today, so far we have not gone down there. 48 at this very second is the low. And I don't think we should expect too many other coins to do very well when Bitcoin initiates these dumpy modes. These absolutely time-sensitive alerts as well, guys. I only have one Instagram and one Twitter, and you can find them at the top of my comments and of my description. All of the other ones are fake accounts trying to get you to send them crypto and trying to scam you. So it's important. I'm going to start talking about it again every single video because it's important that people do not lose their crypto and send it to these fake accounts. I will not message you, okay? I will never reach out with some kind of way of, turning one Bitcoin into two or something like that. My only two accounts, my one Instagram and my one Twitter, are below. Everything else is fake accounts. And without any further ado, this is for me.